morning. Oh, you joined me this morning on the way to the banks. It's just coming up to first light, and even though temperature says on the gauge that it's 4 or 5 degrees, it definitely feels a lot colder than that. My fingers are already stinging. Today I brought the deadbait rods out, so I'm going to try a new bit of river that I haven't recorded on before. It's part of my local club stretch. Yeah, it's had a bit of rain this week, so I'm expecting the river to be up and coloured again. The good point about this stretch is it's got a canalised part as well, so, and a weir, so it gives me a chance to find some slacks, hopefully, drop a few dead baits in, and see if we can encourage one of these pike to feed today. You know, as you've known if you follow my channel, that it hasn't been too successful in the last few weeks, and you know, I'm not giving up. I'll keep trying every week. As we know, it's been tough, and with all the lockdown rules and only being able to stay local, it sort of narrows down where you can fish as well. If you're new to the channel, I tend to put out a video every week. I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified of when I release further videos. Got a bit of a walk now to get to the first swim. I'll catch up with you when I get set up. So, not sure if you can hear me over this roar, but as you can see, this is where the river splits into the canalised and then comes down through the weir to the other part of the river. It is pushing through at twice an accessible rate, up and very coloured, but looks absolutely beautiful. I have to say, this spot really catches my eye. As we saw as we walked across the weir, the actual riverside is absolutely pushing through. But here, where we've got the river splits into the canal, this water is very, very slow. Right up to the edge where it splits, so potentially the pike could be sat in this slower flow, waiting for the bait fish to swim up into the slower water and ambush them. Also looks very good for a bit of perch fishing, and I've brought my ultralight rod as well, so we can do a bit of Ned and cheb fishing as well to see if we can find any perch. So I've just plumbed the deck for the first rod. So I'm using a float leisure rig today. As you may have seen in an earlier video, this season I've decided to use circle hooks. If you look up here, I'll put a link to the first video using circle hooks on the Thames, and I'm going to use them again today. If we manage to catch one on the bank, I'll take you through in a bit more detail how it works and why I'm using it. first rod I'm going to put a smelt on, and I'm also going to enhance this by using the Evolve Baits Zombie Lure Spray. This stuff absolutely stinks. Especially while it's defrosting, just to give some instant attraction into the water. Make sure I don't get any on myself. This stuff lasts ages. First rod out. So that's both rods now set out. The right hand rod I've got on a smelt. The left hand rod I've got on a mackerel. Both covered in the zombie spray from Evolve Baits. Let's just see how it goes. I saw a few swims on the way back to the car that look quite nice to drop into as well. So what we'll do is we'll slowly work our way back towards the car, dropping into some swims. I will also get the ultralight out in a couple of spots as well that look likely to hold some perch. See if we can find any of them as well. So I've just recast the baits after about 20 minutes. It's allowed them to thaw out, so I've put some holes in to the baits, cut down the mackerel because I feel it might just be a bit too big, and I've repositioned them. So I'll give it another sort of 20-25 minutes and see how we get on. So I thought I'd just quickly show you how I bait up using the circle hooks. So I'm just going to put on a nice piece of eel. This is the circle rig I'm using. It's called a heads first circle rig. I hope you can see that. So basically you sort of hair rig the fish on. So first of all, I just need to drill a hole through the head. So I've just got a normal nut drill, nothing fancy. Not sure there's a hole there. Then I use a gate latch needle, just push that through. Attach that to the hair, and then just pull through. Hopefully, hold on. What I need to do is just make the hole a tad bigger. Hopefully this time it should just pull through. Yep, just like that. And then loop this round. And just loop this round. Such. Just a fiddly bit. And latch it back up. And as you can see, we then have one hair rig. And what you see is that the hook, doesn't matter what way it takes it, the hook will always be proud. So that's how I do that. Let's get this baited up and sent out into the river. Oh guys, looks like we've got some interest on the left-hand rod. I'm not sure whether it might be crayfish. Right, I'm going to wind down slowly. Yeah. Is it? No. Oh, it's a tiny little jack one. It's a fish. Nothing massive, but hopefully it stays on. Yes. Oh. Amazing. I hope you see that. Got that on the camera, but got our first fish of 2021. Amazing. I'm just going to let him rest for a little bit there, just while I get the mat set up for me. So here we are. It's a tiny little jack, but that doesn't really matter. What you can see is a single hook caught perfectly, and it's just a quick there we go, as easy as that. So there we go, maybe a couple of pounds, but it's a fish. So let's get this little fella back. Let's see if we can catch another one. And that's what's done the damage. A little brown trout on the circle hook. So we're giving it about a good hour odd in that swim, and very thankful for that little jack. I'm just now going to move to the other side of the weir pool. Hope you can hear me still. It's raging through. I'm going to see if I can find a couple more slacks to drop the dead baits into. So found another swim. Only going to sort of drop in here for sort of 20 minutes or so. It's very bright, but it's a nice slack. So, and also, I don't know if you can see, it looks like it's fished quite a bit, and probably more so by the coarse fishermen and the match guys. So, which means lots of maggots, silverfish, and that in the area. So let's have a try. I'll catch up with you once I've got set up. So gave that sort of 20 minutes odd, just wasn't feeling it at all. It's a very tiny little bit of slack, and it was very shallow as well. So we'll start slowly making our way back to the car, dropping into the swims on the way back. So we're going to go back to the other side of the weir, find some slacks there. I'll also going to get the ultralight rod out as well, and have a cast in a few swims, see if we can find any perch as well. I've got the Korum Regis on today, and also some squirms, so see if we can find anything. It's fairly deep as well, so I've just dropped a couple baits in here just to see if there's anything sat in this slower water. We'll give it sort of 20-30 minutes here, and then again we'll move further down. So just walking along the river, just trying to see if I can find any viable slacks. Don't The last couple of slacks have just been like whirlpools basically, where the water's coming back on itself in the eddy and just causing massive vortexes. I'd be interested in actually if you put in the comments below what your sort of tactics are trying to find pike on flooded rivers, what sort of spots you're looking for, what sort of features. It'd be interesting to see people's different ways of approaching fishing in flooded conditions. So you know, feel free to leave a comment below, and let's sort of see if we can work out best way to catch a pike on a flooded river. Well guys, you know, this is the scourge of the Kennet, and probably a lot of other rivers up and down the country. These bloody crays, signal crays, they're not native and they are decimating the spawning beds. So this one is to be stamped on. There's a big slack on the other side behind that fallen tree and bank. So I just dropped a couple of baits in over there just to see if there's anything lurking about. But you know, it's you know, we've caught, and you know, it wasn't jaws, but it's a fish, and it's all it takes just to boost your confidence and make it all worthwhile. That you know, it just confirms that what you're doing is right. It's just a matter of, you know, the fish being there. You know, we've walked plenty of bank today. The water is still very up. It's very, very fast as well, so you know, it's been very difficult trying to find any meaningful slacks to fish in. So yeah, like I say, this will be my last one today, and hopefully next time we speak I'll have a fish, but if not, tight lines to everyone, and I hope you're having a great 2021 and putting plenty of fish on the banks. Like I said earlier, any tips or tactics for fast flowing rivers, you know, feel free to put in the comments below, and I'll speak to you soon.